The World Peace Dome at Loni was the venue for the 4th National Conference on Media and Journalism on Peace Dialogue and Inclusivity, organized by MIT World Peace University through the School of Media and Communication. This unique and exciting conference also witnessed a session on documenting the past, the present, and the future, chaired by Dr Mukesh Sharma, the CEO of Vishwashanti Darshan and the former Additional Director General of Doordarshan. The participants of the session included K.S. Shridhar, Director Films Division Mumbai, Miriam Chandy Menacherry, the founder of Filament Pictures, documentary filmmaker Farah Katun, and Shilpi Gulati, the Assistant Professor, TISS Mumbai.
So when this happens in the consumer and the citizens, so there has to be, so there was a paper report yesterday which says that, where I need your response, that the Government of India and the Ministry of Information and Broadcasters have decided that henceforth, on a daily basis, all the channels will produce half an hour of public service broadcasting, which means programs on women empowerment, programs on health, education, girl child education and things like that. What do you think about this idea and how do you think will it take it up? Yes, Shilpi.
Okay, I'm going to go back a little and come back to the idea of NFDC that you had mentioned. One of the issues with what has happened with the merger is the very fact that many different units under the government, including FD, DFF, CFSI, the one that makes the films for children, all of these units that were meant for public service and catering to the interest of the citizens have been merged under NFDC, which we must remember is a corporation, which almost 8 years back was declared, actually it had to be disinvested from. So we are today talking at a time when yes, many of the programs are continuing, in the name of funding, in the name of distribution, in the name of markets, etc. But must remember that all of these and the archives and the museum and essentially the cultural heritage of our country has been consumed under a public corporation, which tomorrow is in the danger of getting disinvested from if it doesn't go towards profit making. So coming to your point, even within our country with Ministry of Information Broadcasting, yes, it's great that you are encouraging public service broadcasting today across channels. I think it should happen. Material that is being developed by the government should reach its people. And today, broadcasting is the way to do it. Then it would be in previous technologies. But at the same time, we have to also point out the fact that if NFDC tomorrow, a public institution is being geared towards profit making, then these boundaries of public service and commercial use are being completely blurred. And that is a problem. Our museums, our archives, our libraries, these are our heritage that public money should go towards protecting. And here we are actually going the other way around. So there is a conundrum there that I wanted to sort of bring out because this has been in conversation for the last 2 years since the merger has happened. And I would really encourage the government to think this through and declare at least the archives, and we've been all actually working on it in different ways, declare the archives as something that is not for profit. Our museums cannot be for profit. They are for the citizens and like you said, in the service of the citizens.
It's a really important point that all of us have been concerned about, especially where our archives are concerned. And monopolies, whether it's private or public, is dangerous. We've seen that happen. Even in the private sector, the fact that a few people are controlling all the news channels, it's dangerous. We've seen it not just in India, anywhere abroad. It's like one kind of opinion that comes out, or if it falls, it all falls together. So whether we are talking about public or private, monopolies are something that we have to guard against.
Okay, I'll just ask one last question from everyone, and then I'll take questions if you have. And if you have been listening to us, then I'm sure you must be making your notes. If you have any questions, then you can ask. Okay, because I am a broadcaster. My 7 o'clock news will go at 7 o'clock. So I will finish it at 11:30. That's how I look at it. 1 second. So this question is to all of you. Do you think a media with regulations can do better for world peace than a present free-for-all media?
I have just one thing to say. Self-regulation is the best regulation, of course, that people are aware of what they are putting out. That would be the best form of regulation, which is existent in the press, that you're supposed to have just a sort of a governing body, but every sort of channel is supposed to self-regulate. So that's an ideal situation, but if that is not happening and, there are situations, because we are also such a diverse country with immediate responses and reactions, there is a need for some sort of mechanism to streamline, but not at the cost of the kind of censorship that is very prevalent and tends to overcome regulation at the cost of censorship, which is to put out a particular agenda or, again, create a sort of monopoly culture of one kind of opinion only coming out.
Yeah, some kind of a regulation is necessary in a like if you don't have a regulation, then it is very difficult to know, like in like now you have OTT channels, you have so many channels, you don't know what your children are watching when you're not at home. So some kind of a regulation is necessary. But as she said, Miriam said, self-regulation is the best thing. It's the best thing. So there are some rules that are formed, and with that you self-regulate yourself. What is the content that you are showing to the people?
I am very suspicious of regulatory methods, especially by the government. All well-intended, they invariably come under control of specific political interests. We've seen that with the censor board and many other things. I personally, it's a difficult question, but I personally think there has to be a stronger conversation on media ethics. There has to be a stronger conversation on fact-checking. We are living in a time today where politically, we are more polarized than we were ever before. And representation, politics of representation is something I think we all need to think through as journalists, as documentary filmmakers. And I think ethics today it stands at the core of it. So I think active work on media ethics, which is usually an ignored space, I think is something that schools, platforms, broadcasters, and generally I think the government should also put more money into and talk about what is fact-checking and what is ethical way of reporting, representing. That would be my response.
For me, I think the rules and regulation, if it can be taught at a time when people are at school, that would be helpful for them when they, grow older and then they are adult person who are telling their own story. Filtering that time might not help because they have their, own sort of thinking. So I think whatever ethics and everything has to be taught at a very, young age. And then it's very important also to support storytellers to tell their story in their own way. And what we see, like Shilpi shared, what we see in the name of filtering, what is happening, the free voices are getting, the heat of it. So it should have been the other way. The free voices should have been given more attention. So that's, my thinking, this filtering should have been more democratized, not like in a monopoly way you can't control it.
Raise your hands, how many of you? Otherwise I'll continue. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I'm just summing it up, what they have said, and I just want to give a little idea of my own. Why I feel and what Shridhar has said and what she was actually sitting on the fence, and you were very clear about it, no regulation she was also. If everyone is on the left lane and everyone is not driving on the right side as the discipline is there, or in a cricket field and the match is happening and everyone is in the field trying to disrupt the whole thing. So you need some sort of regulation, but I agree self-regulation. Only thing I'm little worried for the last 2-3 years, since we started this, everyone is saying self-regulation. There is a news, I think they have made a platform also with all the broadcasters that are part of it. We are going to self-regulate. I don't know how much successful that it has been. What do you call it? You must be knowing that it's a platform, a council of broadcasters news council. So anyway, that is happening. But yes, anything from the government, at least a documenter will not accept it. I know that because they are very clear about it, and why should they not be? So yes, sir, your question. Somebody this side, give the mic.
Sir, Sharma sir, my question goes to you. Since I have also sailed in the same boat, I have worked in Doordarshan for more than 8 years when you were there. So generally there is a perception when the government works like this only, nothing happens, this and that. But you showed the entire country knows about this Mumbai Doordarshan program was on top during your tenure. If those who are not knowing should understand who is he. Sir, what is happening in Doordarshan nowadays? Because I left Doordarshan 30 years ago. But the programming, as you were saying, the news, the freedom, self-regulation, everybody is talking about, but it is not happening. The self-regulation, if it works, there is no problem at all. And the government regulations, definitely, we can understand that there may be certain problems. What one of madam was saying, I have something doubtful in government rules, regulations, but it works very well. Whenever Doordarshan programs comes, Doordarshan news comes, even radio news comes, you can very well understand very authentic and very, very good news, very specific. So sir, what do you think? It will work like this only, or something is going to happen?
What's your good name, sir?
Myself, Dr. G.B. Singh, retired from FTI as Dean Television. You know me very well.
Okay. Yeah, but this is for the benefit of everyone. That's what I asked. Okay. So, no, what you said is fine, but please understand, today our own children, it is very difficult to communicate with them. Not that they have become obstinate or, they have become... The problem is with the information, so much happening around and so much of things are present there, that they know so many things more than us. So it's difficult to tell them, don't do this or don't do that. And today is a time where it is free for all. So anything which regulates, sir, neither they will accept it, nor I should ask them to do so. So the thing is this is going to happen, and as they all have said, somewhere they have to understand, and we need to feed this new generation all the time that please see this also. It's like this. I remember I told my nephew कि उसमें हाथ मत डालो, हाथ जल जाएगा. So what he said? He said, मैंने कहा कि आप कैसे कहते हैं? मैंने कहा मेरा हाथ जला था. Then he said, हाँ तो मैं अपना हाथ जला कर अपना experience लेना चाहता हूँ ना. तो I said, हाँ, he's right, because मेरा experience उसको कैसे पता चलेगा? So the thing is this, they want to do that, but I'm sure this present generation, sir, is quite capable of understanding what is not good and what is good. So I think we should leave it to them. They have to understand, because they are the one who are going to build the future of this country, future of our nation. So हमारा काम उनको बताने का है. Rest is भगवान के हाथ में छोड़ सकते हैं, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं sir. Thank you so much. I was here at Yerwada jail. Nobody has entered that. Not that I was taken there, but I had gone there as a public broadcaster. And you know who was inside? Sanjay Dutt. And I was supposed to shoot Sanjay Dutt. I shot the whole thing. He was sitting, doing, in fact, I asked him also, I said, Sanjay ji, आप बाहर जाएंगे तो क्या करेंगे? बोले, सर, मैंने पेपर बनाना सीख लिया है, लिफाफे बना लेता हूँ, कुछ काम मिलेगा तो मैं बाहर ये करूँगा. I made everything, and I came out, and he was supposed to be released after that, about, say, 6 months or so.